So what a difference a day makes. It's a little bit colder here today than it was yesterday. I'm sure it is with you as well. But it's nice to be by the water. I can hear horrible aluminium mast clanking in the background, just to really make me feel at home. But we're here for evening quarters again. How's your day been? Have you had a good day? What have you been up to? Yeah, it's always interesting to know what you've been up to. So please, stick stuff on Instagram with pictures of what you're up to during the day, as well as your daily challenge answers. Have you had a go at the daily challenge? Did you beat Philippa's 54 seconds, was it? I reckon that can be beaten. Give it a go, and I'll show you my video later. So this evening, again, we're just going to have a chance to have a little bit of a think about our theme. If you want to walk on water, you've got to get out of the boat. And tonight we're thinking about walking. Walk is the word in our theme. What is our walk with God all about? So there's going to be a little video from Dave again, and we'll have some worship. And I hope you guys are now getting used to the cabin club arrangements. I think second night went better. We got people into their groups a bit quicker, so we'll aim to improve on that again a little bit tonight. But again, give us feedback. And if you're struggling to get in, if you're one of the people that last night struggled to get the text sorted, give us a shout again on Instagram or via the social media email, or even the admin email. One of us will pick it up and we'll get the information to Jack, and Jack will see if he can help you out to get you on tonight. So hope you enjoy. Let's see what Dave has to say.
I can't imagine what it's like to walk on water. I mean, I sort of can, because I know what it's like to walk, I've done that, and I know what water's like. I've sailed, I've swum, I've been in water, I've touched water. So on the one hand, I can imagine what it would be like to walk on water, but on the other hand, I have no idea what it would feel like to do something that I know is impossible, to do something that is so supernatural, so other, so different. Living as a Christian is a little bit like that. We know what it's like to live. We know what it's like to be alive, to have friendships, to have relationships, to do the things that are, to go to school, to go to work, whatever it is. But to do that with God changes everything in a way that's impossible to imagine unless we've experienced it, unless we know it, unless we know God. To live the whole of our life, not just because we're alive, but because we're living with God, with the one that made us, that changes everything. And when I think about walking on water, I think I would love to do that. When I think about living life with God, which I do, I think that's the life that I want to have, to walk with Him.
Good evening. For this evening's worship activity, we thought that it would be really good for you to look through some of your memories and get a photo or draw an image, if you've thought about it and you don't have the image to hand, about a time that you've been living your life to the fullest. An example from me would be that I might get hold of that video from my dad from when I jumped straight into a ravine, and I just had to go for it because otherwise I knew I wasn't going to do it, and it was so scary. But actually that was a highlight in my life where I thought that I lived life to the fullest. So just take a few moments, we'll play some music in the background, and think about when you lived your life to the fullest.
And you will never leave, your love sustaining me. Before I even knew what love was, you brought me here to given me space to breathe. So I'll stay still until it sinks in. I will lean back in the loving arms of a beautiful Father. and you will never leave. Your love sustaining me before I even knew what love was. You brought me here to rest and given me space to breathe. So I'll stay still until it sinks in. I will lean back in the loving arms of a beautiful Father. Breathe deep, know that He is good. He's a love like no other. And I will lean back in the loving arms of a beautiful Father. Breathe deep, know that He's good. He's a love like no other.
So tonight's theme is to walk. We are going to walk with Jesus, and this is with the story that we've been looking at. We are in the boat with the disciples, and Jesus is coming out to the boat in stormy weather, walking on the water. And Peter says to Jesus in Matthew 14, verse 28, "Lord, if that's you, tell me to come out." And Jesus says, "Yeah, come out." And Peter says, "Okay," and just walks out into the water. And that's cool. I think, this is someone who is definitely human. Peter is one of the most human disciples. He makes the most mistakes. He is constantly getting it wrong. But he's walking on water with Jesus. He gets to walk on water with Jesus because he's decided he's going to take that first step and get out of the boat. So it's weird. There's two ways that he could have got to Jesus. One was to just walk over the surface of the water, which doesn't seem rational. But he could have just swum. And the difference between these is that Peter knew, putting his feet onto the water, that this was entirely dependent on Jesus being who Jesus said he was. This is entirely dependent on Jesus having the power of being able to walk on the water and being able to give that power to Peter temporarily. So this is done in Jesus' power, not in Peter's. It's not him that's doing this. I think that's a really important message for us as Christians. If we've already decided to walk with Jesus, then we need to remember that actually walking with Jesus means that we are relying on him, not on our own strength. And yes, Jesus will use our skills, and he's given us those skills for a reason, but actually it's his strength that we are relying on. And if we want to walk with him and we want to do miraculous things like walking on water, we've got to really rely on Jesus for that. One of the illustrations from this, I guess, from my own life is that you may or may not be aware that 3.5 years ago, I had a daughter born 14 weeks earlier than she should have been, and she spent months in hospital. And the first few weeks were really difficult because we were sat there in the hospital. We didn't really know what was going on. We had a little incubator, and she was inside this incubator. We couldn't touch her, we couldn't hold her. We just had to watch the doctors go around their business, and we watched as the blood pressure went up and down, and the heart rate went up and down, and the alarms sounded, and people ran in with all sorts of tubes and stuff. And it was a scary experience. It's not an experience that I want to repeat. But we found, my wife and I, Laura, found that it was at the point where we gave hope to God, and we said, well, God, you are our God. You are who you say you are. You have control over this situation. We trust that whatever comes out of this situation, whether she lives or dies, you are still God and you love us. So we're going to put this in your hands and we're not going to worry about it anymore. And we didn't worry about it anymore. We just felt peace. And that was amazing in that really stressful situation, to just have that way of giving that situation to God and feeling that peace. But also, that was the start of when Hope started to become better. Not immediately, not like lightning strikes and suddenly she's up and jumping around. She was still very, very young, still shouldn't have been born yet, and it was a gradual thing. But that was the time where she started getting well again. And she's now 3 and perfectly healthy and very, very loud. Letting go of our own control of situations is really important, and I will confess that I forget that lesson that God taught me on a regular basis. And I do try to do things in my church with some of the leadership at home, in church, and leading worship bands, and other things like my daytime job. I try to do it in my strength, and I forget that God is the one who gives me the strength through the Holy Spirit to actually deal with whatever life throws at me, and also be a Christian witness in wherever I am. And also walking with God like that, relying on God, gives God the opportunity to work through you. So if you have put your trust in God, that when you put your foot on the water, you're not going to fall through it. If you've done that, then God will work through you in many different ways. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we all get the gift of walking on water. It just means that wherever he can, God will use our skills, our position, our friendships with people for good. And in John chapter 14, verse 12 to 14, it says, truly, truly, I say to you, whoever believes in me will also do the works that I do. That's all the works that Jesus did, all the things that we found in the Bible. He gives us, his followers, the ability to do those, which is really cool, because some of the stuff that he does in the Bible is just immense. And we get to be part of that if we choose to. So this sounds really good, and it sounds really cool, and it is. And in fact, Jesus promises that he comes to give life, and life to the full. That's John 10, verse 10. He says, I will give you life, and life in all abundance. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to have difficulties elsewhere. In John 16:33, he says, in this life you will have troubles. So in the same way that Peter sees the waves and he sees the wind and he suddenly realises what he's doing, and he feels out of his depth and he starts falling through the water, we're going to have the same thing happen to us. Walking with Jesus is not going to be easy. The first step is difficult, but that's not the end of our troubles. But ultimately, we will be living a more fulfilled life. We will be living a better life if we do walk with him, because of the amazing opportunities that he will give us as we walk together.
I was lost with a broken heart. You picked me up Let your love be the shining light, breaking chains that were holding me. You sent your son down to set me free. Everything of this world will fade. I'm pressing on till I see your face. I will live that your will be done. I won't stop till your kingdom come. 'Cause you are my freedom. We lift you higher, your love, never ending. Whoa, oh, you are alive in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your love has set us free. Whoa. You are my freedom, we lift you higher. 'Cause you are my freedom, we lift you higher, your love, never ending. Whoa, oh, you are alive in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your love has set us free. You are alive in us, nothing can take your place. You are all we need, your love has set us free. Whoa. Greatest day in history, death has beaten, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. And oh, happy day, you wash my sin away. No, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed. When I stand in that place, free at last, meeting face to face, I'm yours, Jesus, you are mine. Endless joy, perfect peace, earthly pain finally will cease. Celebrate, Jesus is alive. He's alive. And oh, happy day, you wash my sin away. No, happy day, I'll never be the same. Forever I am changed. And oh, what a glorious day, what a glorious way that you have saved me. And oh, what a glorious way, what a glorious name. And oh, happy day,
So we're going to move on to the Zoom Cabin Clubs, for which you should find a link in your email. Thanks for joining us this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you at the Cabin Clubs in about 5 minutes' time on Zoom. Bye.